So, a very good afternoon to all the innovators of India, all the patent enthusiasts, faculty members, academicians, industrialists. Welcome to the webinar on patent filing in India. This is going to a very interesting and informative webinar because today we will discuss how to file the patents, what are the forms, how to prosecute a patent, how to reply to the first examination reports, and how to get a patent granted. There are many critical steps in the patent that need to be taken care of. The patent complete specifications, claims need to be carefully drafted. The invention, the research work must be thoroughly represented in the patent application so that the complete disclosure of invention must be done and it should qualify for the criteria of patentability. We all might have done very good innovations in the past. Now, important is to commercialize it. And before commercialization, this is a very critical step of patenting the innovation. So, how to file a patent, how to prosecute the things, all the innovations that we will discuss. So, I'm Dr. Prachi Pandey, and you can see that I have earned my expertise basically in patent and trademarks. And once we will see that exactly for innovators, I wish to let you know that there are many advantages, many facilities the government of India has imparted on the innovators. And first thing is 80% rebate on filing fees. All the innovators, natural persons, startups, educational organizations, they all are eligible for 80% rebate on official fees. And the normal application fee is 1600 rupees for up to 30 pages and up to 10 claims. So if you draft 10 claims and your patent specification goes up to 30 pages, then the fees would be 1600 only. Companies, it is little bit more. Even after amendments, the recent amendment, the request for early publication, if we do the early publication by filling the form 9, it is 2500 only as compared to companies which is little bit higher. So we can leverage these opportunities of filing and early publication of patent applications. Now the many time question comes, and many of the innovators normally have a query like patents are a very lengthy process and they take normally 6 years, 7 years to get it granted. No, I say this is totally a myth. Patents can be granted even in 6 months. So this is the timeline is followed whenever we do everything in a very expedited way. And yes, patent office gives this facility to startups and natural persons. If in their group there is a female applicant, then this facility is available. So there are for other criterias also, but like as most of us are innovators and startups, so I'm telling basically two criterias that are available for us. For going for the expedited examinations that normally takes normally 105 days, the form is 18A. The normal examination is done by filling the form 18 with a fee of 4,000, whereas the expedited examinations takes place by filling form 18A and with a fee of 8,000. That is double, but it is still very much less as compared to the companies that the companies pay nearly 60,000. There is a very good facility of refund. So suppose sometime the applicant or the innovator feels that they are not no longer been in a position to continue the patent and they don't want the patent process because they might have realized that the patent is not so innovative and there would be wastage of money. So in that case, there is a facility of refund of 90% of the patent fees upon withdrawing the applications only before the FER is issued. So before the issue of first examination report, any of the innovator can withdraw the patent application. So, and yes, there would be 90% refund of the fees. Another is not exactly given by patent office, but government of India is tax exemption. So in recent years, it is 4 years of tax exemption. So that is a great facility that every innovator should leverage. And there are very important questions comes in to me that normally from academicians that if they have filed their patent, they can't publish it. And normally for academic credentials, many a times publications are also important. So, how to manage, how to balance this thing? I'm telling to you because many of you might be very curious to know about this. So, yes, your research work can be published just after filing the patent. So the novelty of the patent application is searched before the filing date of the patent, not after that. So suppose if you have filed a patent and you have a priority date, before the priority date, the examiners search for any prior literature, prior claim, prior publications, prior conference proceedings, and if they find something similar, then they can include in the criteria of objections. But suppose if after filing something comes out, it's not actually destroying the novelty. So whenever you have a requirement of publication of papers, do it. But just file a patent, and after filing the patent, you can go for the publication. Even after provisional filing, you can go for publication of your registered like your research work. But keep in your mind that after filing the provisional specification within 12 months you have to file the complete specification. That is must, otherwise applications is deemed to be abandoned. So important is whenever you have a very innovative idea in your mind, you just go and file a provisional patent and start working on it. So I'm telling you something about the types of patent applications, because whenever you file the patent through e-filing procedure, they may ask you this question: what is the type of your patent? So first is I can say provisional application, that comes under the category of ordinary application. So in the scroll list, you have to select the ordinary application, and you have to select the provisional or complete. So, what is a provisional? Provisional is a temporary application that we are just blocking a priority date by filing it. We have an idea, we have a scope of an idea that on this particular boundary we are working, and we are sure that yes, our results may come within the scope of this idea. So while drafting a provisional patent, always have a very broad boundary, because you may need to try many of the components, excipients, and to come up to the final conclusion. So just draw a bigger boundary and file a provisional that covers all the excipients that you may require in your experimentation. So when invention is not finalized, still under experimentation, and we are not sure what would be our best mode of experimentation that would be included in the claim, we can't draft our claim. So without claims, we are filing a provisional application. What is the advantage of filing the provisional application is like, first of all, once I file a provisional application, I will get 12 months of time to complete my experimentation and to come to a point where I have the claims to draft. Claims can only be drafted whenever you have something very concrete to claim about composition, method, or output. So applicant get 12 months time to fully develop the invention and with a priority date. So suppose if you have filed a provisional application and somebody filed a complete specification after you, then rights would be yours, not his or her, because you have filed the application first. So that is important. Now, once I established the priority right over the invention, it give me a right over the patent and right more right over the other people who have filed after me. And this is less expensive to file, because for innovators the fee is just 1600 and you can have a right over your invention by having the priority date. Even for international applications, it can enable the applicant to file the international application and claim priority within 12 months. So if you want to go for international application, also this can give you a priority, because in the Patent Cooperation Treaty (PCT) applications, your first filing date is still counted there also. So filing is important. First filing. Another application is convention application. Convention application, I'm talking about international applications. So actually, there are two ways of international application. And first is convention. This is a old criteria, old thing. The newer one is PCT, that is widely being used. So convention is like all the convention countries will follow a kind of system where when an application is filed in one country, priority date would be applicable to all the convention member countries. So this would give you a priority date, because today I'm doing some innovation in India and somebody is doing some innovation in US or Europe. So there, we are not aware of them, they are not aware of us. So who will decide the priority? So once I have a priority date and I'm a member of a convention country, then definitely I will get the priority date in all the members of the member convention countries. So in this way, who is the first innovator in the world is fixed. Whenever I talk about the PCT application, so PCT international application is governed by Patent Cooperation Treaty, and for your information, we are means Indians currently are eligible for 90% uh, discount in the fees. Why? Because we are in the category of developing nations, and WIPO has given this facility because the PCT is totally governed by World Intellectual Property Organizations. This organization initially conduct the search for patent applications, makes a search report. If optional, this is optional, but they may conduct international preliminary examinations for you and can generate a report, so that during this PCT phase you could be very sure about your innovations, its novelty, its utility, as well as its a preliminary examination can confirm you, yes, I'm damn sure that once I enter in any of the country at the end of 31 months, it may be granted in that country in national phase also. So PCT application is an international application. The priority date is decided on the basis of date of international application filed in any of the country in their own receiving office. Suppose India has its own receiving office, they can receive the international application, or they can file the application on the site of WIPO. So the application will get the priority date in all the 142 member countries simultaneously. So your international application date will become your priority date. This facility is very important because in 30 to 31 months, you will cross many phases of like search, examinations, and at the end of 30 months, you can enter the national phase. So this is a way that we are having a WIPO as a helping hand with us, which can help our patent application to enter the different countries with a priority date that is a single priority date. So that is a way, like every innovator shouldn't be afraid of filing the international applications, and they should definitely cover their innovations worldwide. Advantages are just I have explained you, but more one more advantage I wish to say is like application applicant in 30 to 31 months become very much decided in which country they should enter, but they can designate the country in their international application. So once you are going through the process, suppose you have filed a provisional application in India, within 12 months file an international application, designate some countries, and in 31 months, the countries among the countries designated, you can enter in any of the country in the national phase, but with a search report, with a preliminary examination report if it is conducted. So it is a very systematic procedure of entering the international, like internationally or to different countries. PCT national phase is done only at the end of 30 months, and in India at the end of 31 months. So in other countries you can enter at the end of 30 months. And the priority date will be the same in all the countries. It will be considered. Patent of addition is another type of patent application that every innovator should take advantage, because we are the innovators, serial innovators. This word is emphasized here. Why? Because we do some innovation today, and in after some time we realize that this could have done in a very different way that might have some more advantages as compared to the application I filed some few days back. So this type of hits sometime are all with all of us, but we don't know how to actually add this new type of technical advancements in my original patent application. So this is a way that sometime we slightly modify the innovation, and we want that instead of my old application, now this my new innovation should also be a part of my old application. So in this way, there is no need to pay the separate fee. You need to renewal fee. Sorry, fee should be paid for filing the patent of addition, but not the renewal fee. Renewal fee is the same as the older patent. So this is a kind of, you can say that, supplement to your old patent application that expire with the old patent application. So suppose patent of addition you have filed 3 years after filing the main application, but it will expire on the same day of your main or the original application. Renewal fees are different, uh, are same, but filing of patent of addition require the same fee as your normal patents. So if you have something substantial done after a few years of filing patent application, don't be afraid of filing a patent of addition. um, File a patent of addition with like addition of your new innovations, and you have to pay separate fees for filing, but you don't need to pay any renewal fee. So that's a very important part, and it will expire with the main patent. Now, a question comes: why a provisional specification? So this is a key. We become the owner of the patent. Anyway, our patent will be accepted if we have filed first, and even if it is a provisional application and somebody has filed a complete specification, we will become the owner. So always, it's a race of innovation. So in this race, always it is important to block our date, block our priority date first to reach the patent office. In earlier days, what has happened is like people remain in queue in patent offices and wait to reach the window of the patent office to file the patent and to get a priority date. Nowadays, it is advanced. You can go for e-filing, and you can take the help of professionals to go for e-filing, where patent filing can be accomplished in half an hour to 1 hour maximum, and you will have the priority date in minutes or seconds. If you have to be technically sound, you should have your complete specification ready. Then e-filing takes hardly half an hour. So in this way, you can get the priority date as soon as possible. Whenever we file a provisional patent application, then it is important to have a buffer time. Buffer time, why? Because while filing the provisional, we have 12 months to work on the invention, to come out with the experimentation's findings, and to draft our claims, and then to file the complete specifications. So, this is a pendency period where we can actually find out the loopholes, we can find out the advantages, and draft a claim that is patentable, acceptable. We can improve the features also. So this 12 months, but before 12 months, you need to file the complete specification, including the claims. If it is not filed, then application is deemed to be abandoned, but there is an option of post dating. You can file the request for post dating before the 1 month of expiry of your 12 months time period. Suppose at the end of 10 months, you are filing the uh, request for post dating. It will be post dated to the date on like the not more than 6 months, if you have filed at the end of 12 months, or you can request even like your date of filing the complete to make it the date of filing of provisional. So in that case, you will get 12 more months to complete the experimentation. But the disadvantage is that you will be lagged behind by 12 months. And suppose in between somebody has filed, so that person will have the rights and you will be lagged behind. That is a major disadvantage. So always try to complete the experimentation within 12 months. In worst case, you can post date it. That is an option. While filing the provisional, it's important that even if it is provisional, it should have a very broad scope, and everything that is to be done during experimentation should be covered. So, suppose some kind of unusual findings may come in the 12 months, we should have a prediction of that unusual findings, and you should incorporate the components, excipients, or the processes that could be involved during the experimentation. So, while making this, the draft claims must be raised. Suppose if I have a plan of doing something, plan of work, then I should have a full roadmap, full kind of plot of what I am going to do, what components will I use. Suppose if this component fails, then what another component could replace it. So in that way, we should have enough scope, enough boundaries, because your complete specification must not go outside the boundary of the provisional. So while drafting, you should have in mind that everything must be there that I am going to file in my complete specification. So if a complete become different than provisional, then you may lose the priority date. So that's why whenever we draft a provisional, sometimes it is more important than your complete specification, description, claims. Why? Because it's the provisional on the basis of which you are getting the priority date, and among the provisional, your claims, your complete specification will be based on the documents. What are the documents that need to be filed while filing a provisional patent application? So, while filing a provisional patent, first of all, the Form 1, that is a general formal form where your details, your name, your addresses, your formal, all kind of details are mentioned, some kind of undertaking, some kind of uh, forms, basic details are included that I'm going to show you, like how the Form 1 looks. Form 2 is important because in professional it is and complete. In both the cases, the similar Form 2 is used. Only the difference is in the content. So contents are basically different in provisional and complete. That provisional doesn't have the claims and complete specification have the claims. Only difference is this. Otherwise, both are the same. Form 5 is declaration of inventorship. This form is only valid whenever the applicants and inventors are different. Suppose the applicant is a organization and inventors are the students, inventors are the scientists, or suppose if sponsor is the applicant and the actual experimenters are the innovators. So in such cases, the Form 5 is important, where the applicant need to declare that this particular person is the true and first inventor of this innovation. So Form 5 is applicable in that case. If applicants and innovators are the same, there is no need of filing the Form 5. Form 26 is power of attorney. Whenever patent is filed by a patent professional, then such form is necessary, where you actually give the powers to that professional person to act on your behalf. E-filing fees are 1600. That is a very nominal amount, and even for filing the complete specification, you don't need to pay anything extra. Following the provisional specification within 12 months, you can file the complete specification without paying any fee. So this is the fee for provisional as well as for complete. Suppose if you are ready with your innovation, no need to file the provisional specification, directly go for the complete specification. So this will actually be expedited process where we file the complete specification at a stretch, go for expedited publication by filing the Form 9, and then go for expedited examination by filing Form 18A. So if you are directly filing complete specification, going for expedited publication and examination, the normal timeline is 6 to 7 months for the grant of a patent from the date of filing. So in 6 months, you can have your patent in your hand. But for that, you have to be very technically, specifically drafted, complete specification, claims. It should be drafted in such a way that it should have minimal objection in the first examination report. And even if objections come, you are able to answer the objections. Because objections are a kind of formal examination and report is generated and communicated to the innovator. So every patent will have the first examination report with some objections. So you should have some all the kind of technical details with you so that you can answer the objections as quick as possible and to assist the patent office in their process. And that's why you can get your patent granted so early. Form 3 is a form where you have to declare that I'm not filing this patent application outside India, and if I file it outside India, I will report to the patent office about this. So if I file an international application, I will communicate to patent office. So this is a kind of undertaking that this application has not been filed in any other country. Illustrations or drawing of the invention, they should be made on a separate sheet in a very clear and visible way, and it should be uploaded along with the innovation. So while filing the form 2, form 5, there is a separate provision of uploading the drawings. And yes, whenever you upload the drawings, all the details of the drawing, means like I can say that suppose a drawing is there and it has separate parts. So every drawing should be elaborated specifically in the complete specification. So we have a separate heading in the complete specification, that is description of drawings. And in that description, every drawing, its part, its working, its different components should be elaborated in detail. So it should be in the complete specification form 2, but drawings to be separately uploaded while e-filing. Patentability search is the next step. Wherever to qualify for patenting and to answer the queries raised in the first examination report, it is important that we should first filter out our innovation in terms of novelty, usefulness, non-obviousness, and industrial application. So normally all these four grounds queries are raised, and if you are able to answer the queries based on all those four grounds, normally chances of grants are more. So novelty means newness. Your application must be new on the date of filing. That's why I'm telling, after filing, whenever you get the priority date, you can definitely go for publication, go for conference proceedings. But before the date of filing, never do that. Never even publicize it in any newspaper. Never tell it. Never publicize it on social media. Normally, students have a habit of publicizing everything on social media. This is dangerous to kill the novelty of the patent. Do it, but after filing. After filing, you can do anything because novelty search is done before the priority date. Usefulness is important. You have to prove how it is useful. But normally, objections are not much at this point because innovations are somewhere useful in some respect. Non-obviousness, this is a point actually where the controller or the exam based on the examination reports raises so many queries. Why? Because sometimes we do something based on prior art, and we while referring the prior art, sometimes our product become very obvious. Just for example, somebody has made a sustained release tablet using some kind of polymers of some class. Another have also made a sustained release, but another polymer, but might be the functions of the two polymers are the same. So controller may raise a query that based on the prior art and earlier anticipation, you might have thought that yes, this polymer works, so my own polymer will also work. So what is your human intervention here? What is your technical advancement here? How you are different than other have done? So always remember in mind that at least you should have some of the technical advancements, some of the innovative features as compared to the earlier prior art. Even if your molecule is different, even if your component is different, but suppose such components behave in a very similar way to the prior art or the other innovations in which some similar components have been used, the point of obviousness may come. So in that way, sometimes it becomes very difficult while hearing, while answering, how I'm non-obvious. So the only key is that you have to choose such kind of excipients, such components which have at least something in unique as compared to the earlier innovations. Your uniqueness is important. Uniqueness in terms of output, uniqueness in terms of stability, efficacy, performance, anything. But always focus on uniqueness. This really can help you in grant of the patent. Industrial applications normally is based on the how reproducible your innovations is, and whenever they can go for batch production, are they could be industrially manufactured or just to be for the lab. So if it is reproducible, could be able to be scaled up in a bigger scale, means like all the quality control parameters are maintained at lab scale also and bigger scale also, then definitely it is industrially applicable. So such things need to be taken in account. Patentability search. Search is such a thing that if you have done a very extensive search, then patent grant possibilities are many-fold enhanced. So overall picture of the current state of the art, what has been done in earlier literatures, because in first examination report even the literatures are cited. They cite the literature, they even cite the review papers, that you had definitely you can answer that this is a review paper and it's nowhere related to any concrete research, and that's why it's not could not be considered. But earlier patent claims, so you have to find out the white areas where the scope of research is there, scope of innovation is there, and do in that white area. Do not try to do any repetitive research, because repetitive research is come in the criteria of destroying the novelty, and it will not be accepted by the patent office. So always, while writing the patent applications, go for kind of yeah, WIPO, the World Intellectual Property Organization, have the patent scope. USPTO have their own site. IP India can give you the patents. WIPO patents code can give you a worldwide patent database. But you should must definitely refer some of the paid software like Patsy or Derwent, because they can give you a very extensive search through different words and synonyms which could be similar to your innovations, that are also to be suggested, also to be searched, and that is very simply could be done using the Patshare or Derwent. So you can go for some other professional softwares. You can take the help of professionals also to do that. So while doing this patent search, you should have a report of patent search, and that should be included in your background, and the purpose of doing the uh, this filing the patent application. Because once you write down the background, that yes, this has been reported earlier in the past, what are the loopholes, where are the boundaries of the patent, and how I'm working out of that boundary. I'm working in a very wide area. I'm not entering in that patent. I'm totally non infringing because I'm doing something that is not actually reported. So it is only can be done whenever you have a very extensive patent search. And suppose if your patentability opinion is negative, and you feel that yes, I can't do something extra as compared to the prior art, you shouldn't do it. Why to waste time and money? Do something. Don't file patent for such applications where you get a very negative patent search. So always do a very extensive, very clear and transparent search, and be very sure. Like you shouldn't be have a replica of any earlier prior art. That is important part here. Whenever you have a patent search report, you have to map. You have to map your innovation in terms of component, processes, output, and while mapping, be very honest with yourself, and once you see that yes, I have something different as compared to prior art, and this clearly must show your human intervention, your innovative steps, then you must go for drafting. So patent drafting should be done by drafting the claims, detailed description, different embodiments of invention, and inventive step. So while writing the patent application, it should be drafted in such a way that your complete disclosure of invention must be there along with the best mode. Because sometimes writing a very broad claim or broad description may get an idea to the examiner that the product is not optimized, the best mode is not there, and there is also written in the act like innovator must disclose the best mode. So while writing it, you should definitely in description mention everything, but write the best mode and claim the best mode. Do not make a very vague claim. Vague claims are hardly granted. Try to be specific, and your specifications must be very unique. So filing the patent application, whenever we have drafted the patent application, now we have to file it. Filing is very preferable through e-filing mode, where it takes normally less than 1 day. I told you it takes about half an hour to 1 hour maximum. Application fee 1600 through e-filing. Through normal paper filing, it is 1800. The outcome is that instantly you will receive the CBR. That you will get a receipt from the patent office where your name, title, time, date of filing, even in seconds. Invention becomes safe. You have secured a priority date, and now you are less worried about your confidentiality and safety of invention. Now go and publish the paper. Meet your academic requirements, but you should have a patent filed in your hand. That is important. Then the step comes the publication. The normally all the patent applications are automatically published after filing the complete specification. Provisionals are not published. For publication, you need to file the complete specification. So if you are filing directly complete specification, so from that date, after 18 months, it will be published. If you are filing the provisional, so from the date of provisional after 18 months, it will be published. In between, you have filed the complete specification within 12 months. That is a fact. So from priority date after 18 months, it will be in public domain. But if you want to get it published, because without publication, you can't request for examination. So if you want to make an early request for publication, then you have to fill the form 9 and fees are 2500. So after recent amendments, also the fees are 2500 only. So you can go with this and it will be published in a week. Every Friday, the patent office publishes the journal of patent, and on website also it will be there uploaded. So in that you will have your patent published. After publication, request for examination is patent examination is examined only after receiving the request for examination. It is never automatically examined. So after publication, uh, within 48 months of filing, within 48 months means 4 years. So from the date of filing the provisional or complete application, within 48 months, the RFE request for examination should be made by filling the form 18. This is the normal examination process where you pay a fee of 4,000. If we go for expedited examination, we have to fill the form 18A and fee of 8,000. And I told you the timeline of 105 days. Normally, in 105 days means 3 months, uh, near to 3 months, you will get your first examination report after filing the expedited. Now, the eligibility criteria, I just told you that it should be a startup either, because many of our startups in our like incubator in our university get it examined through expedited process. Natural persons group must have a female applicant in their group for having this eligibility of expedited examination. So but this process is like very helping for the startups. Whenever the request for examination is done, then a first examination report is generated and sent to the innovator or the applicant, and in that the examiner raises many queries. So such queries need to be answered. How to answer the queries? So normally queries are based on, first query is on novelty. They will cite some papers, some kind of patent, some kind of even conference process. They can cite anything, and they can claim that your innovation is not new. So in that case, you have to map your innovation with the earlier prior art in terms of how you are different. Mapping means map the components. Is it a literal infringement? Means like, are the components are literally same or functionally same? Are the outputs uh, are almost coming the same, or are the product have some similarity? Map it. You have to show that how you are different, how you are solving the problems that has been cited in the earlier literatures, or the kind of problems that they couldn't address and that you have addressed, and that's why you are more innovative. You have to answer the objections raised within 12 months from the date of the first examination report. So, normally, this time is 6 months. I can say that the maximum time, 6 months, within which you need to answer the queries, and a response sheet is prepared. The response sheet, as a reply to first examination report, is sent to the examiner back. After that, if the controller is satisfied with the response to objections, then they can grant the patent. If they are not satisfied, then they may call you for again hearing. 2 3 hearing rounds may take place. Don't be afraid of that. Go attend hearing, try to put up your points, You have to always be very firm with respect to your novelty, non-obviousness, usefulness, and industrially applicable. And for that, you need to even submit some kind of evidence, some kind of affidavit. Suppose, just for example, I'm saying that my product is very useful in many of my consumers. So, patent office may say you to submit an affidavit. In that, you can like declare with notarization, yes, I have conducted trials on 10 of the consumers, and all the 10 consumers have given a very positive feedback. And you can attach all the feedback documents, survey document, as a evidence or as a proof or support document. So, in that way, you can have a kind of affidavit that may patent office may say you to submit. In the case wherever sometime public opinions are important, sometime trials or testings are important, in such cases you may need to submit the affidavit. So always be ready for putting your points before the controller. And believe me, if you put your points, place your evidences, proofs, your data well presented before the controller, normally they are very willing to grant a patent. So you have to put your like application in that way so that it actually be granted. It's all in your hands how the things are presented. So just as a kind of revision, we file the patent with provisional or with complete. If with provisional we have filed, we have to file the complete specification within 12 months after provisional, within 12 months. If we can't file, we have to post date it. We can post date it for up to even 12 months, then our date of filing the complete will become the date of filing of provisional, and we can get maximum 12 months of filing the complete specification. It will be automatically published after 18 months. If we want to expedite it, it could be published in a week or within 15 days by filing Form 9. After publication, it would be open for pre-grant opposition. So pre-grant oppositions, in that case, normally it is not notified, but these opposition documents help the examiner to generate the examination report and incorporate the queries, the objections in the examination report also. After that, the request for examination, if it is filed, then only it would be examined. So Form 18 or Form 18A within 48 months of filing from the date of priority, it should be filed. Then the examiner will conduct the examination, generate an examination report. Normally within 6 months of this filing the first examination report, the reply should be given. Then if objections are made within 6 to 9 months, then it is granted under section 43. If it is not met, it seems to be abandoned. There are some chances of hearing that the examiner may call. But normally, whenever we answer the first examination report, we always file a request for hearing, that please allow us for hearing before taking any adverse step. That is very important, because in that case, your hearing request is already being submitted. So hearing must be done. In that way, you can meet through teleconferencing with the examiner, controller, and they listen to you. Exactly, you can put up your point, and there after the hearing, you have to submit the hearing submissions. Just like in court, after some kind of discussions, we have to submit our submissions. So orally also we submit, and then we have to submit the written submission and upload it on the site of patent office. So that this is a way, actually this is a very formal requirement, after which if the controller is satisfied, they may grant you. Otherwise, they may call for another hearing, or they may abandon your patent application. So this is done. These are the forms. Usually forms are I can say forms. Form 1 will have very formal requirements, like your title of invention, your name, addresses, whether you have filed a convention application, PCT, or international application that you need to write here. if it is a divisional application or not, if it is a patent of addition or not, that need to be written here. The declarations are there that yes, I am the true and first inventor, or the applicant need to declare it that this is the true and first inventor. Then all kind of whether my product is like coming under the criteria of National Biodiversity Authority, if I am using the plant parts. If plants are not used, then no need to write here. You have to just write not applicable. If it is applicable, then you have to give the details. Then provisional or complete, which kind of specification I am filing. I'm filing drawings or not. So power of authority is there or not. So which forms I am attaching with the application, that need to be mentioned here. What about the form 2? Actually, I'm showing an actual form 2 complete specification to you, but this is the format exactly given by the patent office, where the title, then the preamble, field of invention, background, description, claims, and abstract. This thing need to be mentioned in the form 2. Form 3 is just the undertaking of foreign filing, whether I'm going for foreign filing or not. If I will go, I will inform the patent office. So this is the content of Form 3. Form 5 is declaration of inventorship, where the applicant declared that these persons are the true and first inventors or the innovators. So Form 5 is optional only when applicants and inventors are different. Form 18A. Form 18A is a expedited application request that just need to be mentioned your application number, the date of filing, and signature of all the applicants and inventors. So just after filing this form and giving the filing fees, it would be examined. Content of patent application. Title of invention. Title should be precise and meaningful. It shouldn't be like that it have a very broad scope. If at least while writing the title, write the actual problem you are stating and actual solution you are addressing to this problem. So at least two things must be highlighted in your title, so that patent examiner can still keep your patent in certain class. Classification is important, whether it's chemical, mechanical. Your title must be precise and meaningful. Don't be so broad, don't be so specific. 15 words could be the time. Suppose, just for example, I've given cited some example here. Suppose an insecticide consisting this components, steering mechanism incorporating an automatic feedback circuit. So definitely write what it is, what does it very. If some component is very important, you can write in your title also. If some improvement is there, you can write the improvement also, for improvement of this. So make it in very concrete and precise. uh, Here I want to tell you one thing: the patent application somewhere is very different from research publication and thesis, because in research publication and thesis somewhere we are very elaborative and sometimes predictive, sometimes we have assumptions. Remember, patent application run on patent act and law, and it work on evidences, proofs, and sentences. We can't write it can be very useful for this purpose. We have to write it is useful for this purpose because it showed or it demonstrated this much of performance. You can never write it can show, it can be useful, it may, might. These words are actually totally not accepted. Patent office require your just a claim in very crisp sentences. So this should be highlighted in your all parts of the patent application. Field of invention should clearly describe the scope, what you are going to do, in which area you are going to do, how much you are going to do, and till how much components you are covering for coming to the conclusion. So at least you should have a boundary. You cannot write I'm using this component also, that also, this finding maybe this also, that also. In such cases, if you do not have the unity of invention, and it may seem that you are claiming more than one innovation in a single patent application. Patent office may say you to divide the patent application into number of innovations and file separate applications. Suppose if I'm making a tool and I'm saying that yes, this could be used to generate electricity, this could be used to generate energy in that way, this could be used to run this. So this, it seems that it is these are different innovations in a single patent application. Do not do that. Just have one innovation and one process, one list of component and one output for your product. Always maintain a unit invention, otherwise they may fall in the criteria of divisional application, and you need to divide and pay separate fees for each of the innovation. So make it this was very important because many a time such things happens with scientists. So it should be such that examiner clearly understand the nature of invention. Your sentences should be short, clear, and very like claiming, not assuming, not thinking, but actually claiming. Background of invention comes after field, where we actually write down what have done in the past, and what is the loophole. If you can find out the loophole, you read the patent claims, and if you are doing something similar but better, definitely highlight there here in the background. After writing the patent, you can definitely write the present invention is different from the earlier cited invention number this. Always write in very precisely. Whenever you write above mentioned, we write in thesis. Here we write the mentioned patent number this or literature this. So be very precise about, be very specific about this. Specificity can get your patent granted. So always better to mention the status of closest technology and how you are better than this. So do extensive patent search. Even search the closest technology that is close to you, but how still you are different. So here the background need to be mentioned. Object of invention. What objectives, what advantages actually you are going to achieve. This will establish the answer for your usefulness. How useful it is as compared to earlier prior art, how useful it is in the current scenario, how it would really give a facility to the people of India and be also affordable to the people of India. These are the merits. Highlight the merits. Statement of invention. It should be clearly stated what exactly is invention over the existing one. Suppose if I'm saying that my lights are flushed, my lights are LED as compared to earlier tungsten bulbs. So I have to say how it is different, how it is useful, how it is better, and how I'm claiming it, and how I'm not infringing others. So statement of invention must be mentioned. Summary of invention is a complete detail about the patent. All the descriptions, detailed description and claim section, it is there in the summary of invention. Purpose of invention, what problem it solved, what advantages offered, what component is used. Here you have to become like a researcher, because in description part you need to write each and every component, each and every method, each and every process, and then elaborate in a very detailed way so that nothing should be left out. And it must not cross the boundary of your provisional if you have filed provisional and complete both. Suppose if it is only complete, then the question doesn't arise. But if you have filed provisional and there you have a full description, always see that your complete specification must not go beyond the boundary of provisional, because that will not be accepted. Then brief description of drawings. Suppose if you have the drawings to explain your innovation, especially for mechanical engineering where drawings are very important. So the drawings must be uploaded in a separate sheet, and all the drawings must be clearly described in the complete specification in this summary of invention section. So all the reference numerals that you have used to label the drawing, that should be elaborated, because those reference numerals are actually demonstrating some part of the that component. So suppose a simple component, a full machine, and they have several numerals demonstrating the each and every part. Suppose a screw is named as one, a nut is named as two, then you have to even write about those screw and nuts. And even if it is fitted at certain place or certain dimension, you have to write about the dimension of that nut, the place at which it should be fitted, how welded or soldering should be done. Everything should be written there only. So it should be sufficient enough so that any person skilled in the art can understand and make it. That is written in the act. So you have to write in such a simple language. So it should be written like this. Then detailed description. Every complete picture should be there in the detailed description. How it is made, how it is used. All technical know-hows should be there. Be a researcher here. but researcher not with assumptions, with the all elaborations. And the elaboration should be very like clear elaboration, this dimension, this temperature, this. So your every sentence must be with the specifications. Now the claims are the essence of a patent. The claim should be drafted in such a way that it should be clearly describe your innovation. Suppose I'm claiming the uniqueness of my product, then I will claim all the unique components, all the unique features in broad in my independent claim. In all the dependent claims later on, describe every component in detail. Suppose my independent claim says about the invention of suppose rubber molding device comprising of a kind of system made up of steel, copper, aluminum, assembled or made in such a way that they are jointly working together with the help of screws and nuts, and the improvement lies in making of a rubber that is of similar shape or reproducible shape and sizes in the range of this much size range. Suppose I'm claiming all those things. So in your mind dependent claims, I will say that the steel material is made up of stainless steel 316 grade, aluminium is pure and made up of this grade. Or if I'm writing about the screws and nuts, the screws as claimed in the claim 1 is of this dimension made up of this material. So all the dependent claims will explain what is claimed in an independent claim in a very broad way. Now in dependent claims, I have to explain every feature in very narrow way. Means like we have to write the very specific features of every component, so that each and every part should be covered and clearly highlighted. Claims must not be out of the boundary of description. So if something is not there in description and you are claiming it, then that will be wrong. So claims will be totally dependent on the description. They shouldn't go out of the boundary. At the last, abstract must be there. That should be limited to 150 words, and it must carry the title of the your invention first, and then it should be written incorporating the very important features in the form of an abstract, like your components may come, your output may come, your method may come, and anyway it should be made in the form of a very concise statement of invention. It could be just like we write in our research paper. So in complete specification, that looks like this. First of all, we this is the format where form to act complete specification. Here you have to write your invention title in detail. It should look like this. Remember, after writing this, you have to write the preamble. Preamble is just like suppose we introduce our invention, how we are introducing it. So the present invention is about the solid dispersion adsorbate of clozapine for treatment of schizophrenia. Now we have to write about what is schizophrenia, why I am using it, why I am making this dosage forms like this. Then we have to write down the field of invention. The present invention is about this particular dosage form for treatment of this. This is about improvement of the solution of clozapine. So field of invention says exactly what we are working. Then comes our background. Background, write down first what is the need of treatment of this disease, or if suppose you are engineering person, what is the use of making this particular device. Then you have to write about the component that you are using to solve this problem. You can write like a thesis, we can write. Then you have to write about the technique that you have employed to enhance the solubility or enhance the efficacy, performance. Write about this technique in detail. Write about what you have used, why this technique is good, why this technique, because this technique is giving large surface area to particles. This is a novel choice to increase the dissolution rate and bioavailability. Hence the aim is to improve the dissolution of this drug by this method and to convert it the melt dispersion of flowable and compressible granules. So always write the advantage, uses of each and every component, uses of each and every process, and how it is improving your result. So write it down in this. Then cite some of the patents. Suppose this patent discloses the use of this particular silicon dioxide having high surface area, but how after writing this at the bottom you can even summarize what are the problems with the above mentioned this patent number and how I am solving this. These are all closest prior art. Cite it. And while citing, write down exactly the component, exactly the improvement, and exactly the process so that we can map it and say that yes, we have a better component, better process, better output. So do not write everything. Just filter it out what is relevant to you. The relevant are the components, the process, and the output. These three things only you can cite here. So these are particular patent applications that cited this. Object of invention. What is the objective? To develop my product for improvement of this. Another objective is to incorporate this another improvement. Another objective is to improve compressibility. Another objective to provide immediate release of drug. Then brief description of invention. Here you have to write each and everything about disease, about your drug, about your component, how this solved the problem, what components I have used, how they are working. If I have used some precaution in my process like temperature maintenance, any kind of humidity maintenance, anything through which I got a better result, that need to be included, because even very small point can add to technical advancements. So in this way, just like this, it's all like a thesis that we write, how we manufactured, how we overcome this problem, how suppose this, you can see even the full process is explained, because the process has a novelty that the temperature is maintained at a very uniform level, and that temperature was maintained throughout the process, and that's why the product yield was good and the product solubility was good. So that's why this was mentioned. So this is just like your thesis but in a very claimed way, means like we are not writing assumptions, we are just writing the results. We have definitely cited some of the literatures such as per USP. You can cite the literature but write the results very in a very crisp way. Suppose the dissolution of clozapine at 45 minutes from its solid dispersion at this ratio of polymer was found to be significantly higher than conventional formulation at Q45 minutes this much time. So always use is, was, means like claiming kind of sentences. Write down the exact polymer that have been used. So in this way it is done. Formulation final best mode should be written definitely like this, component and quantity, that is because this is the best mode. Even if inside that we have taken trials, many concentrations inside, but in the best mode write the best formula. Then preparation, the best method of preparation should be written. Even if we have cited many methods of preparations and also the many temperatures, but at the last cite the best way through which it has been prepared, final preparation method. Then claims. In claim, write down first the broad, what it is, oral formulation composed of solid dispersion adsorbate, composed of this polymer, this adsorbent material, this pharmaceutically acceptable excipient, where solid dispersion is adsorbed onto the porous adsorbent material of high surface area. Write the name of component, that is important. Silicea 350, which produces a free flowing powder and increased dissolution rate of drug from the formulation. Now you are free to write about how much drug, how much this polymer, how much another polymer, everything need to be elaborated in detail. So you have to write an oral formulation composed of solid dispersion of clozapine as claimed in claim 1, wherein the water soluble polymer has been used in this much amount, this drug is used in this much amount, then all the polymers are explained in detail. Every excipient, all the pharmaceutical acceptable excipients have been included here in the right quantity in which it has been used. Then outputs must be written uh, exactly the way it has been obtained. Like in 45 minutes we obtained 87.93 plus minus 0.67%, exact data. Is, always use the word is. Then as claimed, the exact flow property. Why we are claiming flow property? Because we have given the data that it has a good angle of repose, good compressibility index, that's why it has a good flow property, which indicated good flow property. So with the data, with the evidence, claim it. So just make small claims, then make an abstract like this, title, then very small sentences what we have used and how we have made, what we have made. So this we have used, we have did the solid dispersion is adsorbed on the porous adsorbent material with high surface area, which produced a free flowy powder and increased dissolution rate of drug from the formulation. So in this way you can make your CS. Now we will see what was the objection that was raised during um, our first examination, and how we have answered. Okay, so in this way the examination report came with application number, date of filing, everything. And then they have raised some objections in the claims, claim 1, 2, 5, in terms of novelty, inventive step, industrial applications. They have said claims 1 to 9, claims means industrial applications. No, many times it is there. Clarity, conciseness, supported by description, scopes, everything. Now see, they have raised the objections of these two patents, D3 and D4. You can see here, these are the papers and these are the patents. These two patents, WO, this is WIPO document, this is a US patent. These two they have cited that these two patents have something in common with your invention. Also, they have cited two papers. Papers are not of very good quality, but they have cited it. So these two were the similar formulations. Their molecules were different, their compositions are different, but they have cited. Like they have used particularly, they have made the substances, they have used this particular kind of substance. So that's why the claims, our claim is that we had claimed lack novelty. Another, they have raised the objection about the inventive steps. They have disclosed, they have said that this D1, that was the first cited patent, they have used this particular type of substances. D2 also use this, D3 also uses this. How you are innovative? So that's why they have written present invention do not involve any inventive step, because they have also used Polaxamar 188, they have also used this particular matrix, Silesia 350, they have also used. So in that way they have used the many compositions which are very similar to our innovations. So that's why they said that it is not patentable. Now they said that this non patentability criteria, they said that it's not patentable under clause section E of the section 3, because they are saying that this is made by mere admixture. This was a solid dispersion adsorbate where we are mixing some of the solid components together and adsorbing in on certain, one powder was adsorbed on another powder, but they were not considering this adsorption as a kind of process and very novel way through which it was made, but they are considering as a mere admixture, and under section 3E non-patentable, they were considered it as a non-patentable. See the objections, the level of objections that it was there. They said best method was not there. Later on we modified. Then the ratios and the used is 1 is to 2 to 1 is to 4. This is used 1 is to 1 to 1 is to 3. So there is no exemplified support, no experimental data. They were saying why this much range, 1 is to 1 is to 1 is to 3. Why not kind of such kind of experimental and real value? They were asking. Then the scope, they were saying that expression tablet formulation pertain to dosage form, so this is not allowed. So they said. So you see the level of objections. Like any of the innovator may get, you can say that in trouble while seeing all this thing, what has happened. But you will never believe in just a single hearing through expedited process, this has been granted. So even non-patentability was there. It is saying that they are out of the scope. Tablet formulation could not be there. Clarity and conciseness, they have raised many objections. Definitiveness, they have given many objections. They have written all these things like foreign filing, preamble is not there, many things. So this is the actually kind of objection that we receive at a first instance, and then we become very troubled. Many of the innovators may not answer it. So they may say that no, this is suddenly out of my thinking, and I can't even think of answering. But remember that always be positive about it, and just think that how it could be answered. So here we can see that whenever I answered this, hopefully it is visible, like based on hearing what the reply was given. So yes, many times you need not to oppose, many times you need to accept, and yes, preamble has been amended and filed. We have to write what they have raised objection and how we reply. So inventions under section 21J cited prior arts I have written, and then I have written what D1 says, and these how I am different. So I have first written what they have objective, then the reply. Reply is that D1 discloses a gastroretentive control release monomatrix tablet. It is for floating purpose, drug is sustained. My is for quicker absorption. But this is only possible whenever you map the components very critically, map the component, map the process, and always write how much drug they have taken. We have taken even half of half dose. Why? Because we are efficacious. We have not sustaining, we are making a quick release. So in that way, we need to answer. This was very given so much clarity to the examiner that he said, yes, actually this is different. So we said that this particular disease need to be addressed through sustained, but my particular drug and disease need to be addressed by quickly acting, and that's why I have made a system of a molten matrix, not a mere admixture. It's a molten matrix and further adsorption on the solid dispersion, which is a on porous adsorbent carrier. That is a novel process to make a fast dissolving and fast acting tablet to release the clozapine in GI tract immediately to achieve fast onset of action for quick treatment. So this was a way actually differentiated from the earlier prior art. In this way, we need to answer it. Like D2, D3, everywhere the answer is given in such a way that it made our innovation very different from that is already cited. So in that way, the answers are given. Reply for, they have said that they have also used the same kind of polymer Silicia 350. You have used also the same. Then how it is innovative? They have written that they do not involve inventive step. What we replied is like such polymers have versatile uses. It has been used for control release and where they have made the hydrogels. But here we are not using it for control release. So the use are different and amount is different. They have versatile uses and the purpose for which it was used is very different from the purpose that we have used. So in that way the answers could be given. So this is just for example that I'm giving, that always find the silver linings, but you have to be technically very sound about the uh, particular components, particular excipient, and then you should be answer it. So the non-patentability criteria, they said that it is a mere admixture. The answer is simply it's not a mere admixture because this has been made through a very specific process made by design concept, statistical confirmations, reproducibility were checked, and not a mere admixture but a molten dispersion by making hydrophilic carrier, further adsorption on the molten matrix on porous carrier, and thus making a substance which is a product, not a mixture. So in that way, you have to answer like this. Even in hearing, it should be emphasized with full confidence. So, mm, like you can see the replies in my replies, I have somewhere accepted, I have somewhere opposed, I have somewhere modified, I have somewhere removed some of the claims, I have disclosed the best method, I have emphasized the more and more advancements of my formulation, and thus I have again requested to consider the reply to objections and provide the opportunities of hearing before taking any adverse decision. That is very important, that even after filing everything you have to be very humble, very polite, and always ask for hearing, always ask for, you should look like yes you are very interested for your innovation to get it patented and you are able to answer all the queries on time. follow the timeline. Such kind of answer to first exam, like written submission after hearing, must be done within 15 days. Remember, suppose today your hearing is done, within 15 days you have to answer the queries raised. If you are not able to do that, you can do the extension of time by filling the form 4 under section 138, rule 138, through which you can get 1 month extension. But per month extension charges are 10,000. So if you can't submit your written submission after hearing within 15 days, it may charge you 10,000 if you want extra time of 1 month. So always be ready on the day of hearing only, because whenever we submit it orally, try to write it on paper and make a written submission and file it immediately within a week. Do not even wait for 15 days. So we did it, yes. And after doing that, we got our patent granted. So this is the grant certificate that we received. So in this way, actually, whenever I showed you this particular kind of application. Why? Because such queries are somewhere people see that it is not answerable. Section 3, non-patentability criteria, non-specificity, no conciseness, novelty is not there, uniqueness not there. Everywhere, all the claims were saying that it's not acceptable, but still it was accepted. And the timeline, you can say it was 7 months. 7 months timeline in which everything completed because we were ready. So yes, two things are very important: your technical knowledge, another is the professional knowledge of patent. These two things, if they coincide to each other, your patent applications are nowhere a difficult task. It could be granted very quickly, very easily. So Samadhan Mahajan, 6 months are required for provisional patent filing. Uh, exactly the answer of, I'm not getting the question rightly, but I'm still answering it. What is there? Provisional patent filing can be done on any day. Whenever you have an idea in your mind, draft it and file it. Once you get the priority date, within 12 months, you can draft your complete specification, incorporating all the experimentation findings in the form of claims. Incorporate the claims in your complete specification and file the complete specification within 12 months. This time, 12 month is important. 6 months timeline is not there. You can file provisional patent filing. Um, it's just about how ready you are. If you are ready with your idea, your scope, your boundary, your technical part, you can draft even in a day. So provisional specification after drafting, I just told that it will require even 1 hour to file a provisional specification. One question is, provisional patenting is necessary as many times as it may be changed during the final patenting. Okay, so provisional patenting, yes. If you have an idea and you can roam around an idea, make a boundary of that scope and file a provisional patent. Be sure that within 12 months you should come to certain conclusion that is within that boundary. If your conclusion is coming out of that boundary, then you have to refile the patent, because provisional can give you priority date, but that priority is for certain scope of the patent. So definitely you should file the provisional to get the priority date, but your idea must be planned, must be mapped before filing the provisional. Yeah. Is there any things to Tika? She has asked, is there any specific format for filing patent based on laboratory work? Yes, for just the patent I showed you just is a laboratory work. It's a kind of PG project that students have done. And this research publication, before publicizing it as a research publication, first file the provisional patent, then only go for the research publication. Your lab work should be jotted down in the form of results in a very clear and precise way, and make a patent application. Incorporate the product, incorporate the process, incorporate your findings, be very precise, and then the file your patent. Definitely your laboratory works must be patented first, and then it means like filed for patent first, and then you can go for the research publication. So for our students, for our startup, because normally startups are also have crossed the phase of students, and while being student they have filed their laboratory findings. Yes, you can. Okay, utility patent and design patent. Okay, so I'm talking about the utility patent. So whenever something is useful and you are commercializing it, suppose the product that has a patent that I have just talked about. Design is about aesthetic appearance. It has nothing to do with the functionality or usefulness, but it has the appearance that makes it very unique, and that's why the designs are registered at under Industrial Design Act 2000, and they have also have a design certificate issued by Indian Patent Office, and such designs have an appearance from top side, bottom side, side views, perspective views, and such views are such that they are unique, and they must have certain class, means like what kind of product it is. So at least you cannot make a design of anything which is not relevant. The product should be relevant, it should have a purpose, and a design should be made. So design patent is just for industrial, it is not called design patent, actually it is industrial designs. And yes, it has a value because such kind of aesthetic and or the design appearance may can lead you to interact with other industries who may try to take up your design for commercialization. So usefulness means whenever functional features are included, it is a patent. Whenever functional features not but the aesthetic appearance are included, then it is design patent. Best wishes to all of you. Thank you. Thank you so much.